This is a production of Gordon College's Scot Radio.
Scot Radio.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for listening in to the Fresh Take today. My name is William Lott.
And I'm Emanuela Silva.
And we would like to welcome you to the second part of our crossover. If you were listening to our special guest, Ben Schneider, he had me on his show just now, and now he's going to be on our show. So welcome, Ben. Thank you for
having me on.
Coming on to the show. So before we start, we'd like to just say Happy Veterans Day today, and we had a great speaker in chapel today at Gordon. So it's been a really good day to reflect, and for all those who have lost a family member due to being in the Army or anything, you guys are in our prayers, and So usually how things go on the show is that we start off with some weird news. Yeah, some whack news. Because
is that the name of the segment? Whack news.
We should.
It could be.
It could be.
We don't know.
Well, we just kind of just tell them that it's weird news.
Sure.
We haven't really come up with names for anything. We gotta
he
start
likes to
doing
put
that.
the word fresh in front of everything.
I only did that for one thing, and I have a new name for it now.
If we go back, we know that's not true.
No.
Savannah's nodding yes with me over here.
No. Like I'm saying, like before it was called something different, but I have something new for today.
Something new.
It'll be good. Trust me. But let's get into the news. So the first thing is that wild turkeys are taking over a New Jersey neighborhood. So apparently these things just think, Thanksgiving ain't it. So they're gonna start taking over some places, some neighborhoods. So just weeks before Thanksgiving, some wild turkeys are taking a bold stance in a New Jersey neighborhood, reportedly terrorizing humans, breaking windows, and pecking at cars.
It's a revolution.
I know, right? The turkeys are taking... Who needs aliens when you have turkeys?
Area 51.
But anyway, several local media outlets have spoken to the fearful residents of an over 55 community in a township named, coincidentally, Tom's River, because a male turkey is called a Tom. Though that's not why the town has that name. But one person was like, I can't get out of my door, or sometimes I can't get out of my car. They go to attack you. The individuals not named in the story presumably out of fear of retaliation from the turkeys.
Okay, like back home we have wild turkeys, but they've never attacked.
Yeah, that's
that's never been a thing, so that's a new one.
Maybe these ones.
I don't think of those animals as ones that you need to be that scared of.
I mean, like
they should be scared of us. It's November.
We'll grab you. We'll cook you. Like, do turkeys get rabies? I don't think so. I don't think turkeys can get rabies.
Can turkeys get rabies?
I've never heard that.
I don't think so. Are you?
I look.
Savannah's looking it up. Do turkeys get rabies? I really don't think
we know
so.
raccoons do.
Oh, most definitely. That's last time. We don't talk about that.
Yes, we do. Your pain is my joy.
Savannah has a face. Maybe they do.
Is that a yes or no? They do.
They do. Okay. So turkeys can get rabies.
Watch out, guys.
So,
don't choose the wrong one at the supermarket.
Oh, wow. So another person said, they're pecking at our roofs. She said, our brand new vehicles, they're pecking at our vehicles. So Scala, I guess that's her name, wants the birds to be moved and suggested finding a big property, hundreds of acres of property.
As if they're not just going to come back.
Exactly. Like they'll get tired of all that nice where there are no people.
Exactly.
They want to come back.
They want to fight.
So that's kind of crazy. So watch out, guys. If a turkey turkeys look like they're starting to take over your neighborhood, be careful.
Gotta watch out for the alpha male. It's the one with his chest all puffed out.
Exactly. You know what you got to do? That's the one that you cook for Thanksgiving. So all of the others can.
Not if he has rabies.
Not if he has rabies. Oh yeah. Well, if he's not pecking at you, you're probably fine. Anyway, enough about talking turkey.
Can you talk? Can you English?
Talk turkey. You get it? You don't get it. Okay.
Nah, it just wasn't funny.
Yeah, it was. I'm laughing. It's funny. Anyway, on to the next news story. A man gets really stoned after drinking McDonald's sweet tea. So, a South Carolina man who went to McDonald's for a sweet tea says he received a little extra herbal substance on the side. So the Island Packet reports Parrish Brown went to a McDonald's on Hilton Head Island and asked for a sweet tea with light ice and extra lemon. Brown now believes extra lemon was code for marijuana since he found 3 bags of weed in his cup. He says he only realized it once he was, quote, high as a kite.
Damn.
So
man.
Okay.
Brown says he never had marijuana, so he didn't recognize the taste. He says he paid regular price for the items. And Beaufort County Sheriff's Office spokesman Major Bob Broman says an investigation is ongoing. He did not specify which McDonald's Brown had gone to.
Yo, I'm done.
That's kind of crazy.
That's not something I want to encounter ever.
To think that like someone could just put that in your drink, that is not good.
Okay, ready? This is what I'm thinking. What was happening? Imagine this. Like, say, like, the manager was going to inspect everyone to see if they had drugs on them, so they had to get rid of it. So
they just put it in the drink for their customers?
Listen, you never know.
Oh, wow. See, that's why I get Sprite, because it's clear, and I don't have to worry about seeing anything.
Or you can just get water.
Or water. Why would you get water?
Because it's healthy.
But it's expensive.
Tap water?
It costs... Nah. Like the McDonald's...
Then you're doing it wrong.
No. Listen. McDonald's, they'll give you like the water bottles and charge you extra for it.
Not where I go.
Well then, lucky
you're
you.
ordering it wrong.
Lucky you. I'll say tap water and they'll give me water in a water bottle.
I'd rather buy a water bottle than
exactly, or just keep a water bottle with
tap
me,
water
like
for
your
free.
bottle right
Like,
here.
the quality will be much better. So.
Exactly.
It would, but like, I don't care.
No.
Like, water is water.
If you're going to McDonald's, you don't get water. You get a soda or a tea, as long as it's not.
Especially since any size is $1.
Exactly. That's a nice thing to know, isn't it?
I guess it is.
Okay then. Okay.
I concede.
Yeah. Anyway, so on to the next one. This one is just insane.
Oh my god, it is.
And like, when I read this, so
Stop, no.
A Cannibal Killer slaughtered and ate 23 pizza delivery men, 6 Jehovah's Witnesses, and 2 postmen in the past 7 years. So the Houston police have arrested this guy, and his name was Ivan Fedorovich Yankovic.
Just his name sounds like a cannibal.
He was 56, and he could be linked to a number, or is linked to a number of mysterious disappearances in the area, believe officials. So Yankovic was interrogated by police after neighbors complained about him using a chainsaw late at night and reported the man being, quote, covered in blood.
Ew, that's nasty.
And when police arrived on the scene, Yankovic was found butchering a dead body in his garage and preparing what police officers described as large quantities of ground meat mixed in with an aromatic blend of spices.
Stop reading.
Wow. Yeah, that is crazy.
Okay, when I was...
He lives with his mom.
Stop. Okay, when I was in, like, middle school, I used to live in an apartment building. In the apartment facing ours, an old man ate his wife.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like my grandma's neighbor.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so... That just kind of caught me off guard.
You're welcome.
So yeah, he lived with his mom, and she rents the house basement to a local student who seemed to blend into the community and never aroused suspicion from neighbors. Yeah, so, and when he was getting interviewed, he said he showed some remorse about killing the delivery men and postmen who were, quote, just doing their job, but said the Jehovah's Witnesses, quote, really annoyed him and wished he had taken more out. That's crazy. This guy, oh wow, that's
crazy.
Yeah. That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. So, and then he said, Tom Duvall, who was a local Jehovah's Witness organization spokesman, said that he is relieved that members of our local chapter can now feel safe, and that these courageous souls have not ended in this vile man's belly, but in God's belly. I don't know.
I don't like that sentence.
That
seems a little strange too, but
that was not it.
Yeah. So oh my gosh. Yeah. Someone said, I never suspected he was a mass murderer. He would often invite all the neighbors to watch football at his house and host large barbecues for everybody and was super friendly. I swear to God, someone ate a person at one of those barbecues and they did not
Especially if he's grinding them up.
Exactly.
And, like, imagine a burger right there.
Exactly. You're nasty. Oh my goodness. That is, oh my gosh. Well, luckily he's
Then eat it.
he's away. Oh, he was also in charge of organizing their yearly spaghetti dinner fundraiser.
Yo, I'm swearing those meatballs were not.
Those
were not beef.
Nope, not at all.
It was a Jehovah's Witness.
That is, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm in utter disbelief. But anyway, enough of that.
Moving on.
Enough of that news. We're going to go on to the movie madness. That's what I called it. Movie madness.
That's what we're going with?
Yeah, for now. It'll probably change up again.
No, I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Bet. Sounds good. So this week's movie is Gemini Man with Will Smith. So the name of the character in the movie is Henry Brogan, who is an elite 51-year-old assassin who is ready to call it quits after completing his 72nd job. And his plans get turned upside down when he becomes a target of a mysterious operative who can seemingly predict his every move. And to his horror, Brogan, a.k.a. Will Smith, soon learns that the man who's trying to kill him is a younger, faster, cloned version of himself. So the movie is rated PG-13, so those kids who are 13, they can go and watch it. And it was honestly pretty cool. I heard the behind the scenes and how they made his face look young.
Wasn't it like CGI?
Yeah, some of it was CGI, some of it was makeup. So
damn, they did a great job though.
It was pretty.
If you look at it, it makes me think of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because he looked so young.
Fun fact, he actually, I think it was an interview after he did a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode.
The one with his dad one?
Yeah. He was saying how he wanted in the future to be in a movie and call it Gemini Man, and he was facing himself as a clone. So that's been there
I did
since
not know that.
The 2000s. So it's pretty cool, and they made it happen. So he was happy to hear about it. But so that's it for the movies. So we're gonna go on to the main part of the show, and that's talking with you, Ben, because you are our guest, and once again, welcome to the show. So we're gonna start off with some simple questions like you did for me on your show. So where did you grow up? Let's start there.
So I've lived my entire life in Delaware.
Okay.
Second smallest state in the country.
Yeah.
Kind of gets overlooked a lot of the time. But we were the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, so we've got that going for us. So
history, we like that.
The more you know.
The more you know.
I know you said you moved around a lot.
Oh yeah.
I've been there my whole life.
Trust me, it's good to stay in one spot. And have you made you went to high school there, right?
Yeah.
So you still have a lot of friends. You made a lot of friends.
Actually, when I was in third grade, I transferred to a K through 12 private Christian school.
Okay.
So I was there all the way through graduation.
Nice.
So have the same classmates all my life growing up, so that was really enjoyable.
I feel that.
That is pretty cool. Well, shout out to y'all, because I didn't have the same
classmates. I had no idea you lived in Philadelphia for a bit.
I did. I've been all over the place. I've moved a lot. But
I love Miss Lucy a lot.
That's my sports city, Philadelphia, just because that's the closest major area to where I am, even though I'm not in Pennsylvania. But the Philly market is definitely the one that's most present when you go to Delaware.
Most definitely. Philly's a great city. Get yourself a Philly cheesesteak if you ever go.
Yo.
Get it from the right place.
Yeah.
But
nothing.
No. Oh, all right. You got something to say about my Philly cheesesteaks?
No.
Well, actually, I think a steak bomb here at Gordon can top a Philly cheesesteak.
I was gonna say though, they're pretty good. They're not bad. Just gotta get them at the right time, We don't want Bob.
Oh, we don't talk about that. Anyway, on to the next question. How did you find out about Gordon?
So I was a junior, and I was at a volleyball game with senior night, and the coach was introducing one of the players and saying, Lord willing, she'll be attending Gordon College in the fall. So that was the first time that I remember hearing the name as something that another student at my school was interested in. So I went to Christian College Fair the next month, and Gordon was there. I gave them all my information just because I knew the name. But at the time, there were a lot of schools that I was interested in that I was really thinking about pursuing more seriously. So I figured, well, I'll just put my name down and they can have my info. But I like telling people Gordon was 11th on my list of colleges at this point. It was there, but I wasn't seriously considering it. But then I just remember that summer in particular. I felt like I was getting 1 or 2 emails a day from the admissions office. Like they were really.
They still do that when you're on campus. You get like 6 emails a day.
Yeah, but I just felt really recruited by them. And then got a phone call asking to apply early, and I thought at that point, maybe God was trying to tell me something with all this.
Yeah.
So I went ahead, and it was actually the first school I applied to, which is kind of crazy to think about because in September it's barely on my list, and now I'm applying early, and it's the first one that I'm getting the process over with. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just door after door continued to open, and like you, I got a very nice scholarship with a global honors program in that institute.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much what sealed the deal. Yeah. So I felt God pulling me here in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah. Well, congratulations for getting that scholarship. It's a global honors, it's a big deal. So, what are you studying here at Gordon?
So I'm a communication arts major, and I don't know in particular what I want to do with that at the time. The time I was applying to college and everything, I wanted to go into journalism. Patrick Henry College in Virginia has a phenomenal journalism program. It's something that I was really interested in. Obviously ended up not being the path I took, but as I've come here, I've just kind of accepted that the field of communications is so massive.
Yeah,
and
very.
I still remember my very first class here. My professor, Scott was telling us as a class that, 20 years ago, social media didn't exist.
That's
the internet barely existed. There was no Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Now there are jobs where people for entire companies and conglomerates and celebrities, their job is to run their Twitter feed.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
As media continues to evolve, new job opportunities continue to open up that didn't previously exist. So the world is continually evolving, and with it, the communications field does as well.
Yeah.
So that was very encouraging to me. And it made me feel like, maybe there'll be an opportunity by the time I graduate that doesn't even exist right now as I'm sitting here as a freshman.
Yeah.
So that taught me to be patient and to wait and see. Obviously, continue to pursue opportunities as they come, but don't feel pressure like you have to have it all figured out right now, because I know it's something a lot of freshmen struggle with. They think, this is a massive commitment here. I'm at college. I've got 4 years to figure it out. What in the world am I going to do? Just enjoy it. Take your time and appreciate things as they come up, and take it one step at a time.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's something I would definitely encourage. Like, you have time.
We do.
Don't feel like as I was saying on your show, don't feel like you have to make a decision about like your major before. Like, if you really know what you want to do, then make that decision now. But if you don't feel like you have to make that decision, be a deciding major, and then figure it out from there. And Gordon College is always, the people are so willing to help you on campus and help you like decide where you want to go.
Even if you do know what you want to do, you don't have to like rush.
Exactly.
Because you can change your mind in an instant. Like, okay, you want to be a certain major, but you don't know how you're gonna like apply it. You don't have to rush to find out like exactly like what your career path is gonna be.
Yeah.
So I have an English minor as well,
Okay.
and that's if the journalism opportunity comes back. I figure get more experience writing, have that on my resume. That'll look good. So
Awesome.
that's looking at the dual enrollment credits I had from high school. If I just had one major, I was going to graduate early easily. Kind of run out of classes to take. So
That's true.
I wanted to have another goal in mind to pursue. So a double major was going to be a little much. But to have a minor to pursue is another opportunity I'm really thankful for.
That is awesome. So how many like writing opportunities have you done on campus? Like, have you done the Tartan or anything like that?
I've done one article for the Tartan.
Okay.
So
awesome.
they had. I feel bad because I feel like I owe them a little bit more than I've given them. But because I've had multiple times now, an editor will come to me and say, "Hey Ben, would you be interested in being a sports writer? We're looking for a sports writer." And I've got so much. Like I run. I've got a job. I'm doing 2 podcasts now. I was only doing one last year, and I still felt like I was too busy. So it's something that I've been hesitant to commit to as a full-time thing. Last year after the Super Bowl, Alec Hansen approached me and said, "Would you be interested in writing a piece on the Tartan, like a game recap, game story?" And was particularly interesting for us up here, of course, because the Patriots, the local team, were in it as they've been for the last 5 years. And they ended up winning, which was exciting for a lot of people here on campus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, it makes me feel good about my Eagles is that, the Patriots have been to 4 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, and we're the only team that's beaten them. So I feel like our Super Bowl win is
the past is in the past, okay?
It's all fun and games, so the Patriots get beat again this year when they go into the Super Bowl.
Well,
watch what you say.
I'm gonna anger a lot of my fellow Birds fans back home, but I will typically root for the Patriots over pretty much anybody except the Eagles. I have to stay true to my true hometown where I grew up.
I don't know what you're doing.
Philadelphia, let's go.
Yeah.
Shut up, William.
We don't want the Patriots.
You're from Richmond, Virginia.
But there's no Richmond, Virginia football team. So we go.
So the Patriots it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you heard it here first. He said yes.
I was confused.
Nah, you were just admitting the truth.
When I was in Philadelphia, that's when I chose that team, and I stuck with
the
them.
Patriots?
No,
good choice.
The Eagles and Kaka. The Eagles.
I don't know if I want to be your friend anymore.
Okay then.
Okay.
That's fine.
Kaka, did you watch that episode of the Goldbergs?
I did. Okay. See, that's where I got it from. He knows what I'm talking about. You probably don't know me.
I have no idea what the Goldbergs is. But okay.
You're missing out.
Am I?
You're missing out.
Drawing it all back, that is. That is the one piece I've written for the Tartan.
Yeah.
So, and I got good response from that. So I appreciated that opportunity. And
awesome.
Something I'd be open to doing again this year. Patriots are looking strong.
Hey.
I would like to see I'm personally pulling for a Patriots 49ers Super Bowl. To see
that would be pretty.
Tom Brady going up against Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't know. That's as much
that'd be pretty cool.
Knowledge isn't that deep. So
no.
As long as in their Super Bowl, I'm watching. So.
We do it for the commercials.
We do it for the Buffalo Wild Wings, okay?
The Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's where we go.
That's true. Yeah. That's awesome. Anyway, next question. So, what do you like to do during your free time? When you haven't, of course.
Yeah.
Like to run.
We run, okay?
Yeah. I do like to run. Obviously, I'm on the team. It would kind of be problematic if I didn't.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess it's not really free time, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're at practice, and practice is obviously mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm doing right now, I love doing the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Love being on Scot Radio and a part of that team. But I've actually got, it's probably overkill. I've got 3 game consoles hooked up to my television in my room.
Dang, cool. Okay.
I've got my Xbox One, I got my PS4, and I've got my PS3.
Why?
So I don't even know because
What's better, PS4 or Xbox?
I'd say PS4. I've had the Xbox. I've had the Xbox longer, so typically I just got the PS4 last Christmas. So I typically if a game's available for both consoles, I'll get the Xbox version because I treat that as my main console.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have access to. I'm a big race fan, so Gran Turismo is a series I've liked to play for a while, and MLB The Show is a PlayStation exclusive. Spider-Man, one of the best games of the year last year.
My brother has that game.
I have that game. That was that's the reason why I bought a PS4 for that Spider-Man game.
That was I've been on the fence. It's do I want? I've got Forza, so do I really need to play Gran Turismo that much? But then when Spider-Man was announced as this big PS4 exclusive, I was like, okay, maybe I need to get on that.
That was a good game. Awesome. Well, have you had? So of course, since this is your 3rd year, you've already had some experiences throughout those years. So have you had any struggles at Gordon that you can remember and that you've overcome?
Let's see. I guess.
Good question.
Yeah. One of my criteria for a while when I was looking at colleges was I wanted to be close to some family.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say some family, I'm talking extended. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My great aunt lives in Minnesota. If there's a college in Minnesota, that's probably going to be more desirable to me than a college in I don't know, just in the middle of the country where nobody's from my family lives. Because although I'm not super close with her, at least that's somebody I know I can trust to fall back on if I need to go somewhere for a weekend or something like that. But as I got closer to making that decision, that became, you start to feel more independent. As long as I wasn't going too far, I figured I was going to be okay.
Yeah.
So I've gone home for a weekend before. Actually, just last month I did that. It's doable. It's a lot of driving.
Yeah,
It's
I bet.
6.5 hour drive depending on traffic.
That's a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But I've got family in Connecticut too, so that's a nice kind of. Darayen's actually almost exactly halfway in between.
Okay.
So that's nice to have that insurance as well if I couldn't make it all the way back to Delaware. But yeah, I guess just the distance was tough at first. I remember the first preseason camp my freshman year. Monday night was rough. Wednesday night was really rough.
Yeah.
I was really starting to feel
Homesick.
Yeah.
Like being away from
and
home.
it's weird because it's something about that place, because I felt the same. I didn't get the chance to go sophomore year because I had a minor injury the day before I was supposed to go up, which, it was basically a jammed toe and made walking pretty difficult. I had a massive cut on my hand. So for the start of the season, I was fine. It was just, going to sleep in a tent for 4 nights in the middle of the woods was going to be pretty unpleasant.
That sounds unpleasant.
I decided it was probably much more beneficial to recuperate at home than to go up there. But going back junior year, I expected it would be, a lot easier because I knew what the place was. I'd had that experience before, and I felt the same way. I got so much more. I get so much more homesick at the base camp than I do when I'm here on campus. And I don't know if it's just because, you feel like you're more in isolation when you're in the Adirondacks. But yeah, that's been a struggle for me from time to time. But I feel like I've gotten better with dealing it as I continue to make new friends here. That's been a big part of it as well. I've got a lot of great friends that I consider family now. And it's strange. I feel like, you go home for the summer or over break and it's almost like you're living two entirely different lives. I've got a couple people from my high school here. A couple of, David Walzak's a senior. There's a girl who's a freshman now who ended up coming here, who I've been trying to give some advice to. But yeah, after that, it's I didn't know any of these people before a couple of years ago. So there's very little overlap.
Yeah. That's good to know. Yeah, I think like having those friendships, making those friendships here really is what helps motivate you and helps you to push forward. And going back to that thing about like family being close, that was one of the reasons why Gordon was like moving closer to the top, because like I said on your show, my cousin's in Boston, my aunt is in Andover, so knowing that my mom is in Uganda, I don't have to worry about like finding a place to go for Thanksgiving because that's already been planned out. So
you don't have to go to Uganda to go home.
Exactly, because that's money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
we don't want to spend money that's not necessary.
That's very true.
But so how does it or wrong question.
English?
What are some of the achievements you have accomplished at Gordon so far?
Well, that's interesting. I don't want to give my exact GPA away. But my GPA it's not a 4.0, but it's strong. It's something that I know I'm going to be fine when I'm. It's not like somebody's going to say, "Well, your resume looks great, but oh man, that GPA, I don't have to worry about that." So I always felt like my mom always told me, you could be a straight A student if you wanted to. But my dad's a physics. My dad was a physics major. Ended up getting a PhD in that. My mom was also a physics major and was my high school teacher for physics. And I want to go into communications. I have no idea how that happened. But and she knows, and she's been gracious about it. She understands I'm into different things, but she could tell senior year that, and she had a math minor. She teaches pre-calculus and calculus. She was my teacher for that too. So she could tell. She had me for 2 classes senior year, so that was an interesting experience. But yeah, she could tell I was really just trying to get through those classes for the sake of getting through them, because I was Yeah, I much preferred my theology and literature and history.
Yeah.
That was more my thing. You know, problem solve. Like, if I could get a basic sense of problem solving, that was good enough for me. I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn how to analyze, you know, history and events and words on paper. You know, trying to find the tangent of a circle or whatever.
To me, that's easier.
I mean,
I'm like more towards like the science and maths over than English and history.
Yeah. Well, we're all wired different, so that's what makes the world go round.
We need people in all of those different places.
Yeah, but athletics-wise, it's been an interesting journey. My school is very small. We had a track team my sophomore year, and only my sophomore year. We had obviously our cross-country team. Yeah, I know it's a little weird. My cross-country team was strong. We had a couple of really good coaches. We got a brand new upper school principal my sophomore year, and he had a bit of a throwing field background. So we thought, well, okay, you know, this could be an opportunity. Let's try to start a track team, get that program off the ground. I don't want to get too into the details, but he ended up only lasting that 1 year.
Oh.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I love him. He was great. But you know, to this day, I do feel kind of like, you know, he bonded with all of us so well, and he came out from Colorado. I don't know if it was just wanting to go back home, if things just weren't working out here. But yeah, it was strange. He just left, you know, totally unexpected. But when he was gone, the track team was gone.
Wow.
So
he was kind of the one who was like making
yeah.
it
So
happen.
so I did. Yeah. Well, I was the fastest runner on the team for a couple of years. So I did track 1 year we had it. And I enjoyed it. But I felt like cross country was more my thing. Okay. So when I came to Gordon, I didn't realize until I got into the season how much overlap there was between cross country and track.
Yeah.
So I said, well, let's do cross country, see how that goes. And then Coach Weichert sat me down in like October, just trying to meet with everybody on the team one-on-one, see how they were doing. And he was talking about my goals and how I was progressing. And then he started talking about, and then once we get into track season, we'll do this and that. And I interrupted him. I said, well, Coach, I'm not sure I'm going to do track. And he was like, oh, why not? And I explained the whole story to him. And he mentioned that one or two runners had only done cross country, but you know, he encouraged me, you know, the vast majority of the team does both. And there is a lot of overlap, and don't worry about the fact that you don't have a lot of experience doing it. So we get to November, and we're doing our intervals on the track, you know, because we're in peak shape, getting ready for conferences and regionals, and I'm running some of the fastest splits of my life in practice. And it's like, I just felt so happy in that moment. And to this day, I still say I could feel the spirit up there. God telling me, like, hey, you know, I know you're worried about time, you're worried about the commitment, but you're going to do track and you're going to love it. And that was the best decision I ever made. And it culminated last year. I mean, I mentioned this briefly the last hour. I had the opportunity to do a sprint medley relay with the team at SNHU. And it was the oldest school record on the outdoor track and field board from 2005. And the record was 4 minutes, 2 seconds. And I was fortunate enough to be chosen to run the 800 leg in that. And we took the record from that 4:02 to a 3:58.4. So,
yes, sir.
Okay.
If you had told me, I hesitate to say I hold a school record, because I share that school record. You know, I couldn't have done it without those three other guys. But if you told me I'd see my last name on that school record board, you know, when I was coming in as a freshman, I would have laughed in your face. Because I know I'm a solid runner, but you know,
And
we all have our struggles.
Yeah, and like, you know,
freshman year?
Last year, my sophomore year.
Oh.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'll be at New England's, but I'm only an alternate. You know, I've only been an alternate all 3 years, so that's something I really want to push for. You know, it's looking like I'm going to graduate in December next year, so this will be my final track season. But when we get to, I really want to be on that line next year.
Yeah,
that's a goal that I'm really going to try to push for next summer. But yeah, it's definitely been a highlight of my career so far. Is that SMR?
Yeah.
I looked at the time, with 200 meters left, and that's when I knew that I was going to make it and we were going to break the record. And it's just such a great feeling, to be able to say that I'm part of that is really special.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations to that. That's a big deal, breaking a record.
Yeah.
So, well, you kind of already explained how you got interested in cross country and track. So, next question: will you continue to run after Gordon?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as much. Maybe not, putting in as many hard workouts or training. If I won't be a part of a team, but I'd love to do a half marathon one day. Work my way up to a marathon. I don't know that I'd ever want to run a prestigious major race like Boston or something like that. Because that's
the big one.
Yeah. Well, obviously it takes. You have to hit a qualifying time for that. That takes a lot of training. But yeah, in order just to say I was able to do it. I don't have much of a swim bike background, but I think it'd be awesome to do a 70.3 or something like that one day as well.
Nice.
I'd love to stay active. I still love participating in local 5Ks for charity. Something I really enjoy doing. So yeah, I'll definitely keep it up after we're graduated.
That's awesome. Maybe you can teach your kids or something about some some of your running stories.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get them out there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, last question: do you have any advice for the underclassmen, specifically the freshmen, as they're starting their first year here?
Yeah. Well, I guess I touched on it briefly at the beginning, but I would just reassure them. You have a family here. We all are here to help each other out, help each other grow spiritually, and figure out what we want to do. And I would just say you've got a tremendous faculty and staff here that are the exact same way. They really care about you. They really want to see you succeed, and that's something that they take great pride in. So that's number one. And number two, I guess, would just, again, I also touched on this, but reassurance that you don't have to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We don't graduate high school, turn 18, become adults, and then go right into the workforce. Yeah. We've got this period here where that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, where we want to go. So those would be my biggest pieces of advice. Enjoy the journey. And listen to your mentors, figure it out for yourself, and know that you have a group that's here to support you every step of the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have for you, but we usually at the end of the show
we play a little game.
Yeah, we have some games to play, so we get to know
one
our
of
guests
two.
a little better. So we either play who's most likely to, or would you rather.
Yeah.
So today for you, we're gonna do
would you rather
questions.
Okay.
So there's some pretty fun ones. So
that's nasty.
what? Oh,
the first one. I'm not reading that one.
So I'll start. We'll just switch off.
Okay.
She'll do one and I'll do one. So first one, would you rather have free Wi-Fi wherever you go, or be able to drink unlimited free coffee at any coffee shop?
Definitely the free Wi-Fi.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a coffee drinker. I got my Mountain Dew in my hand right now.
Neither am I.
This is my source of caffeine.
Yeah,
so
there you go. So
Okay.
that's where you go to the sodas. We don't need coffee.
Soda is bad for you.
Soda is bad, but so is coffee. Yeah.
Soda has way more sugar.
Sugar.
Okay, would you rather run at 100 miles per hour or fly at 10 miles per hour?
Run at 100. Absolutely.
Because he's a runner. That's how you break those records. Running at 100.
Yeah.
100 miles per hour. That's
Yeah.
That would be a blessing from God.
Kipchoge just broke the 2-hour barrier. That's cute.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, I know who that is.
But anyway, wait. Was that a sarcasm?
Yes, it was sarcasm.
My bad. I was like, okay, you're running.
Of course I do.
Anyway, next question. So would you rather be an amazing artist but not be able to see any of the art you created, or be an amazing musician but not be able to hear any of the music you created?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a hard one, even for me.
There's something about music that's just so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Not that art visually isn't. But I don't know what I could give up. So let me put it this way. I'd rather be blind than deaf. I think
I feel that.
generally speaking.
Yeah.
Just the sounds that we get from that are so beautiful. I would not want to give those up if I didn't have to.
I don't know what I would do without music. I listen to music for
So this kid,
everything.
he was trying to take a nap earlier today and he couldn't, and I was like, just play your music.
I didn't have my music. I need my music.
The kid's addicted.
So yeah, music is important.
Okay, ready? Would you rather speak your mind or never speak again?
That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
I guess I'd rather speak my mind. Because I would not want to lose the ability to express anything. So I'd rather it be like, if I have no filter, obviously I'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be problematic at times. But at the same time, I'd feel like people who could let me through my faults would be that would be worth it. Being able to continue to just have normal conversations as well. So.
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta let somebody know. Like, those shoes don't look good on you. Don't look down at my shoes.
Those shoes don't look good
my
on you.
My shoes look great. We don't need any of that negativity. Anyway, the last one for me. Would you rather have everyone laugh at your jokes but not find anyone else's jokes funny, or have no one laugh at your jokes but you still find other people's jokes funny?
Have everyone laugh at my jokes, but not find other people's funny?
Yeah.
Or have no one laugh at my jokes, but still find out
everyone else's jokes funny?
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
It's not a choice.
I don't know.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
It's not like people laugh at all your jokes, anyways.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm not a comedian. I'd rather be in the audience than on stage. So.
Depends on the person. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I don't know. These ones are weird. Okay. Would you rather have no one show up to your wedding or your funeral?
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Got some good ones today. Okay.
That's...
I know my answer. I'm dead for my funeral. I won't know.
But
you
still want people to show up to know your legacy, wouldn't you?
Oh, she spoke.
I don't.
She spoke her mind way too much.
I guess I would say funeral only because I wouldn't have to experience that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's still tough. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't want that, but I'd rather. I guess I'd.
Okay, think about it this way. Ready? Your wedding. That's your money you're spending on other people to show up, right?
That's true.
They better show up, but when you die, that's other people's money.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Think about that though. Like, no one showing up to your wedding includes your husband or your wife. It's just you by yourself up at the altar.
That's messed up. I didn't think of it that way.
Exactly. So I definitely say funeral. Well, that's all the questions we have for you, and just like to thank you, Ben, for coming on to the show. So,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, so everybody make sure to tune in to his show on Mondays at 7, which is the Ben Schneider Show, and then the photo finish on Wednesdays at...
Tuesdays at 9.
Oh, Tuesdays at 9. There you go. I had the wrong day.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Tomorrow night, NASCAR season's winding down, so we'll get you all up to date on that.
There you go. Well, thank you for everybody for listening to The Fresh Take, and hope to see you next week. We'll have a little Thanksgiving special. Thanksgiving edition.
Next week.
Yeah. We'll
have that next week. We're not having it Monday.
Yeah, Monday next week.
We're not having it on the 25th.
Is it wait, when do we get out for school?
The 26th.
We'll have our show Monday the 25th if we do have our show then. But either way,
we'll let you know.
Tune in for the Thanksgiving one. But thank you everybody for listening, and God bless.
God bless.